ladies and gents. Welcome back to Sekolah. So today, me, Ardelia Clara Budiman, and my partners
Tito Raja Balian and Sud Bernard.
are going to accompany you for the next 7 minutes. So the topic that we're going to discuss is about the Chinese Civil War. The Chinese Civil War was happened in April 1927 until May 1950. So why there was a civil war?
The Civil War was happened because it is first started with a conflict either because of control between the communists and the nationalists. A different arguments that leads to a small conflict, but for a lot amount of time, small problem will become a huge problem which can occur a civil war. Civil war is basically to prove that their arguments is better than their arguments. We both agree that the civil war was caused by the political control between the nationalists and the communists. They both want to rule China, but the problem is that they both have different governmental system.
Mao Zedong, he is the communist leader, while Chiang Kai-shek is the nationalist leader. So then the civil war happened, and eventually, after years, the communists have succeeded to defeat the nationalists. At that time, the communists was really strong. They were supported by the Union Soviet, which makes them to have a powerful military force, and they also have a lot amount of soldiers. Not only that, the communists at that time was gaining a lot of support. They promised to give the land reforms for the peasant land. That promise led them to gain a lot of support. There were a huge number of peasants that volunteers for the service during the Civil War. Around 5.4 million were preparing for the Huahai campaign. Based on research, the communists were really smart. At that time, in 1947, they were aware that their main forces were a lot, and they also don't have enough gun. So they make a policy to not attack the nationalists. They even gave up the land that they want. They did this because they wanted to pick the weaker targets. In June 1947, the communists launched an offensive to the nationalist army, and they finally defeat the GMD, or the Kuomintang's army. Okay, so back to the first reason of why did the communists win the Civil War. So yeah, they were smart, and they also had large tanks and heavy artillery. They were able to cut off the nationalist troops from their supply bases in Xi'an by launching an attack. After they launched the attack, they secured the southeast central section of China. And again, they were able to launch offensive against the remaining nationalist armies. Then the second reason, they also had good leadership. They, the communists, were able to do their plan well, and they knew how to gain a lot of support from the people. Number 3, they also had a good tactics. They were really smart too. Number 4, like what we stated a few minutes ago, they had the Union Soviet supports. They were able to get the military aid and guidance from the USSR. But the nationalists were also supported by the USA. They gave funding to the nationalists, but sadly, the nationalists weren't able to use that money efficiently. Most of their weapons were captured by the communists at the early stage. Number 5, the people in China mostly support the communists. The communists were really smart, and they knew how to gain supports from the local people. They were able to win this because of the local people's support. At the end of the January 1949, China was more into the communists. What we meant by more into the communists is that most people in China they support communists rather than the nationalists. The nationalists at that time was under threat. They were outnumbered, and most of them are killed, and their capital city, which is Nanjing, was also under threat. In 17 months of fighting from July 1946 to November 1947, December figures are not yet available. We killed, wounded, and captured 1,690,000 of Chiang Kai-shek's regular and irregular troops. 640,000 people are killed and wounded, and around 1,050,000 people are captured, said Mao. The nationalists surrendered and fled to Taiwan and started their government there. Yeah, so that is how the communists won.
As if we are talking about the impact of the Chinese Civil War, there's a lot of impact. The first impact in China is that they become a single-party state which is communist. Because of this civil war, the relation between the People Republic of China and Republic of Taiwan quite intense. Then the KMT or the Kuomintang, they will never be able to control the countryside. The third one is that 25% of the world population has become a communist. But because of this war, lots of infrastructure, farms, buildings are destroyed, which caused the government to obtain a lot of money to repair the country, which caused the food storage, high unemployment, and also inflation. Those impact are just a tiny bit of impact of the civil wars.
But for today, we're just going to tell you some of the impacts of the Chinese Civil War. So that is all from us. This is me, Ardelia Clara Budiman,
I'm Surt Bernard.
And I'm Victor
reporting from the studio. Thank you and have a good day.
Audio Jungle.